stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. How y'all? Happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers. You know, it was so quiet last week about the father thing. I didn't realize it was Father's Day weekend until after the show was over on Friday. I didn't see people lining up to buy flowers for the fathers or candy. I didn't hear a lot of talk about it. It was so quiet that I didn't even realize it was Father's Day Sunday coming up until after the show on Friday. So happy belated Father's Day. And I hope that all those who resent their father met with him on yesterday and gave him real love by forgiving. Hey, Father, I am sorry for resenting you. There's no better gift than that. At least for the one that forgives. No greater love than forgiveness. So happy belated Father's Day. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. We dealt with the biblical question of last week yesterday. What are you trying to gain in life? And in reality, you shouldn't be trying to gain anything. Nothing. Don't try to gain anything. It will only divide you. It's better to just be. Live your life without any plans. Practical plans are fine. I'm going to take a vacation next year, kind of a thing, right? But other than that, live a life without any ideas or any plans. If you don't try to gain anything, you will not lose anything. If you lose anything, you're going to try to gain something. You're up and down. Why not just let go and simply live your life? What's wrong with living? So check out yesterday's fellowship. It was absolutely amazing. Really. For those who are seeking the kingdom of heaven within, you will be helped by that. It was mind-blowing. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. It was amazing. If you were not there or you didn't get a chance to watch it on live on the internet there. So I can say www.rebuildingtheman.com too, /church. Okay, thank you. Brand new biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. Brand new biblical question for this week. Another doozy. Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? Why are you ashamed of the hatred of the anger and hatred in you. You ever ask yourself, why am I ashamed of the anger and hatred in me? Know thyself. Know thyself. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And don't forget to follow us on Cozy.tv/JLP, Cozy.tv/JLP, and Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Hit the like button, ring the bell, follow us there. Ring the bell, subscribe, and all those good things. All right? And thank you in advance. So I have a quick question for two of my experts of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. And I was just thinking about this morning. It crossed my mind before, but I really thinking about it this morning for some reason. I think I know why. I wanted to ask Hassan, my audio engineer, and an expert, very talented, and Hake of the Hake Report, Monday through Friday, at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 9 to 11, and an expert here on the show. Hassan.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, how you?
Walking on water. How you?
Walking on water. With your dog. How's your dog?
He's doing all right. He's been throwing up a little bit. I changed his food. So
the dog's sick too?
Well, he's been throwing up because I think I changed his food, and I need to ease it in. But anyway, he doing all right.
He threw up in the house or outside?
He threw up on my bed.
Oh.
But anyway.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't really often hear about a dog throwing up.
When I was growing up, I used to see dogs throw up, but it was outside. And they would eat grass and stuff to help soothe whatever was wrong with them. Mm. We didn't have to take them to a doctor.
Right.
God provided that. We didn't have to buy medication. Did you buy medication for the dog?
No, not yet. I'm letting it pass.
Why don't you let him outside so he can eat some grass like a dog should?
Well, I did take him out, and he kind of was like thinking about it.
He's looking for the medicine God made for him.
Yeah, exactly.
What the?
It was reminding me of Wally.
Who was Wally?
You have Wally on this show right now.
The alligator.
Oh. The comforter.
The pet alligator.
It's awful the way human beings treat animals. Human beings have destroyed themselves, and now they're destroying the animals.
Terrible.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Oh, amazing.
But anyway,
yeah.
I wanted to ask you at Hake, did you know that you are your world? You are your own world?
Yes.
You knew you were your own world?
I have come to that understanding through listening to you.
And what does that mean to be your own world?
That that when people are saying, "Oh, I'm trying to create world peace," or "I'm trying to change the world," we have to do it within ourselves. Really, nothing exists except for what's going on in us. So in the world, but not of it, I think even is deep on the level of we are our own world, but we even have to die of that. We even have to die of like our world in a sense.
And how can you change your own world from negative to good, bad to good? Maybe
just, I guess.
And it's not a testing thing. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it's interesting.
What people think about it.
I guess realizing that everything is within, and that you're not really affected by anything outside, and you're really not even affected by anything inside because the thoughts and everything. So kind of maybe not thinking that it's necessarily negative or positive, just kind of knowing that if you can overcome those things and have peace within, that is world peace.
If you can overcome what?
If you can overcome all that stuff inside of you, then you can have peace within, which is world peace.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Did you know you were your own world? Hake.
I don't know if I really knew that. It makes sense when you say it.
And what makes sense about it?
Because as I learned in marketing class, your perception is your reality, what you think is reality. And so you're in your own little world. Everybody's in their own little, you're in your own little world, or I'm in my own little world.
And how can you change your world from whatever bad is to good or amazing?
Thinking positive thoughts.
How do you think positive thoughts?
I don't know. It just made me, that was the only answer that would come to mind, even though it was shallow when you asked Hassan that. And so how do you change from negative to positive?
Hassan was shallow?
No, when you asked Hassan the question, I was thinking about like these rap songs about changing your life from negative to positive.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Hassan gave you a clue.
It sounded like, well, I was thinking when he was talking, so it was I was a little bit distracted. I heard some of it, but I was a little distracted too. Kind of like Nick when Nick said exactly what I said and poo-pooed it, but he didn't know that I had just said it on Friday. But anyway,
I don't remember that.
Letting go of it, realizing it's all a lie.
What's all a lie?
Even your perception is off. Some of the times your perceptions are just assumptions.
Assumption?
Right. You don't have to say it so harsh.
What do you mean?
Never mind.
It is assumption.
Right.
Never assume.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, and I realized I am my own world. Each individual is their own world. We are not the world. It's the individual that's the world. And I realized the way you change it is you got to change your mind. If you change your mind, your attitude will change and everything, and your world will become amazing. But if you don't change your mind, it's going to always be trouble and worry and fear and doubt and loneliness and suicidal thoughts and depression and all that stuff. But you have to change your mind.
To what? How do you change your mind, and what do you change your mind to?
Hassan, do you know that?
Maybe just
These are my experts, so I just wanted to hear firsthand from the best in the country.
I have. Oh, go ahead, Hassan.
Well, no, I was just gonna say maybe just like changing your perspective. You know, it's like it sometimes takes certain things for us to hear or seeing an example of something for me to know that it's possible. So when you hear a different perspective, you're like, oh wow, it gives you kind of like 180 on things that you never saw before. So, I mean, just kind of. And like you say, Jesse, when you hear it, you've always had it within you, but for whatever reason, we've been corrupted or polluted. So it just kind of rains true back to us that we already knew. So I don't know. I guess it's maybe getting back to who we were before all of the programming. Like before we were obviously traumatized or the world programming, trying to get back to that initial pure state and that truth that's inside of us. Because you said something, I was watching an old video yesterday and you told someone the Bible, the truth, it was something to the extent of the truth can't just stay in the Bible. It has to be within us. It has to be in you. And, so anyway, so long story short, I think, getting back to who we really were before we've been transformed into all these different identities and thoughts and everything. So I don't know, just change of perspective, I guess, is like hearing the information or someone pointing you back to yourself, like you say, or that's pretty much it.
And you say?
I have sometimes thought that, or had an inkling that I was barking up the wrong tree with my different focuses and the things that I'm trying to solve.
Yeah.
Like in the mornings, I'm concerned about getting my show ready and then also not missing your show. And then sometimes I'm thinking about like a friendship or whatever and a solution for it. And like the solutions aren't really up to me anyway. And on top of that, those are not even things I need to be preoccupied with. Like how Jesus said, do not worry.
Yeah.
So that's all.
I have a better one sentence answer.
Yeah.
Like you just said, forgiveness is the best form of love. I think when you really do that and really forgive and the heart changes and everything and the nature changes, you have no choice but to have a perspective change. Everything now is like you see it differently because the anger's gone and you don't have the judgment. So you're able to see clearly. You're not clouded, and it's impossible to kind of have this veil of resentment towards everything because you understand, like, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they do, So you have that kind of is the perspective shift, sort of.
Amazing. I was thinking about this. We had a conversation yesterday, and we've had it before, but in our a fellowship yesterday, we were talking about about tolerance, Christianity and tolerance, and we were talking about taking sides and things like that. And I realized that my mind, over the years, ever since I forgave, my mind has been changed so much it's not even funny. It's like the things I used to think are now gone. My mind is clearer now. And in the Word, in the beginning, there was the Word. God said He would give you a clear mind. He would renew your mind. And every human being, not knowing that you are your own world, the reason you don't know it because your mind has not been renewed. You need a clear mind. And I remember when I first started my organization, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny, we used to do a lot of protests and things like that, go out and picket in and all kinds of stuff. And I realized, I thought then that it was helping, that it was going to make a difference, but it made no difference, zero difference. Abortion's still going on. The illegal aliens are still coming into the country. As a matter of fact, more now than then. The human beings are still fighting one another, deceiving and hurting one another. And the only ones that change are those who have a change of heart. Like Hassan and James were saying, a change of heart. And then the mind will be renewed. God changes the heart, and He also renews the mind. And so yesterday, when I reflect, I'm thinking, I didn't know. But now I can see it, I know. But yesterday we were talking about at the Dodgers Stadium, I guess it was at the stadium, these drag queen men showed up, pretending to be Catholic, right?
I think so.
Pretending to be Catholics.
Catholic nuns or something.
Yeah, but they were men in Catholic clothes, and they were doing all kinds of gross things because of their hatred of God and their hatred of the Catholic, I guess. But then what happened as a result of them showing up, some Catholic people showed up to protest them. And I was saying that's exactly what the devil wanted. He worked through those people to do all that stuff so the Catholic people would show up and give the devil life. It's not going to change those people's mind at all. As a matter of fact, it's going to encourage them to do it even more so. And so the Catholic protesters showed up, and you just had the Catholics thinking they were right, and those lost souls doing the nasty stuff thinking that they were right, and two devil groups fighting. And I was thinking, in the past, I would have shown up with the Catholic and did that too, but it would not have changed anything. And I would not have known that it wasn't changing anything. I would have just felt good about showing up. You know what I mean? It's just egos fighting one another. And even in your own life, when someone get mad at you, they want you to fight with them. There was a young man called that said his mother had turned on him when he forgave her. And now she's building an army against him about talking to his family about him and all that kind of stuff. And his best response should be no response, because now the devil in her want him to argue. That's why she's going around finding other devils to agree with her. To agree with her so that devils can fight. I want to show you here some of the footage. And then I want to hear you guys' opinion about this. I'll be done. Talking about taking sides and tolerance, right? Here's some of the footage of what is going on with the Dodgers. This is from Fox. Watch this.
Fox over just a huge protest as the Dodgers get ready for Pride Night. There has been a lot of controversy, of course, leading up to tonight's Dodgers Pride Night.
Tonight is the 10th annual Pride Night, and I'm sure the Dodgers have never seen a turnout like this. Just take a look at this crowd. We are talking about 1,500 people. They are protesting not Pride Night itself, but the group that is being honored tonight. The controversial group known as the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. They will be receiving the Hero Community Award because of their charity work. The sisters call themselves an order of queer and trans nuns who use humor and wit to expose bigotry. But Catholics and Christians say the group mocks their faith, and they are absolutely offended that the Dodgers have chosen to honor them tonight.
And it broke my heart that the Dodgers will do this to their fan base, their Catholic fan base, that they will invite this group that mocks the Catholic faith and makes fun of the Catholic religion, makes fun of Jesus and Mary, and they do it in such a very awful way.
Amazing. Oh, and you say?
Interesting. I didn't know that they have had so-called Pride Night for 10 years.
Who?
The L.A. Dodgers.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I mean, I'm not that surprised.
So the Catholics just found out they were doing this, and they've been doing it for 10 years?
Well, they crossed a line when they had insulted the Catholics by having by honoring those so-called sisters of, the drag queen nuns.
Oh.
Or transgender or whatever they are. It's interesting that that they're being honored for their charity work, the so-called sisters. And it's kind of like how Jesus said, when you give, you're supposed to do it in secret, not to be honored by all these people.
Right.
But they do it as a PR thing to be honored, so that people are more accepting of the LGBT mess. Just like how I heard that the biker gangs used to do charity type stuff as PR, like public relations thing to seem like good guys.
Do they still exist, the tobacco people?
Hell's Angels and all them?
Yeah, Hell's Angels.
Yeah, I think they still do. I'm not really sure.
Amazing.
I never even really knew that they existed back then. I just saw them on TV. But you're right. It does come off as like they're just being kind of the Christians, the real Christians over there, are just being annoying, petty, and irritated, and taking it personally just because they just went after the Catholics. And yeah, like all of a sudden they're protesting when in reality they should have boycotted them 10 years ago when they first started doing the Pride Night thing. Amazing. Or just stopped going.
Yeah. You say Sean? I mean, not Sean, but
Hassan.
Yeah, I mean,
after seeing the video
and kind of like more and more having understanding, it's like, yeah, it really doesn't affect the Catholics or the Christians. Like, all of it, you're right, it kind of is, yeah, it doesn't really affect like the Catholics who want to believe that, or Christians. Like, it goes back to kind of like we are our own world. Like, what's going on in the world really shouldn't affect us. It really shouldn't. It's like, it is like an ego thing. It's like, oh, look, I'm holier than thou, so I'm fighting for this cause. But in all actuality, if you're really like fortified in yourself and in your family, your kids and you shouldn't be and couldn't be affected by it.
Yeah. So what's 4 to 5?
I don't know. I was actually looking for more.
I heard said 4 to 5?
Yeah.
Fortified.
4 to 5.
Fortified. Turn it into a fort. Strong, strengthened.
Like you know, Christians.
Fortified.
Christians would say,
like mortified.
Mortified is embarrassed. Fortified is strengthened.
Oh.
Like how Christians would say, are you resolved in your faith?
Oh, Lord.
Resolute.
But I'm just saying, if you are resolved though, and your family is your kids would just look at it like they look at Halloween or something like that. Like if they really were,
that's true,
like taught and saw the example in the household.
What I realized that I didn't realize before is that if the Dodgers want to do that kind of crap, let them do it. You don't have to go. They have a right to do it. They're the Dodgers, right? It's their own personal business. So if they want to do it, let them do it. You wish them well. Just don't go to the game.
Yeah.
That's all. But don't judge them. Don't get mad. Don't be affected by it, period. Just you don't agree with it. And then secondly, those people were not offending Jesus or Mary Mama at all.
Yeah, they were.
They were. Did Mary have a mama?
I assume so. Most people do.
Jesus was not affected by that. Mary was not affected at all, period. But that woman and those people out there picking it are being personally affected as though it is happening to them because they're so emotional. And it has nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with love. It's just all hate. The devil's fighting one another. You heard that one Catholic woman, how affected she was by it. Why is she affected by some dumb stuff that people do? Because what those people were doing, they were doing it to themselves. They would do it to nobody else but themselves. She said Christ, they were making a mockery, something like that. They were making a mockery of Mary and Christ. No, they wasn't.
Yeah.
You think Christ is up in heaven thinking, Lord, look at them, they're making a mockery of us. Isn't that like dumb thinking?
Yeah, it is. That's one thing I don't really understand about the Catholics seem to take that type of stuff personally.
Oh, quick break. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. So those Catholic people out there protesting these people, the woman was saying something like, she out there saying, Jesus need me to stand up for him. That's crazy, right? Just think about it. God is God and Jesus is Jesus. If they were upset about these people worshiping the devil, they could just blow the people away. Come on, man. After all, it's God and his son. God doesn't care about that one iota. And those people, those men out there dressed in Catholic dresses, they're hurting themselves. And then the little Christians and Catholics showed up, they're hurting themselves. And the devil wants those people to show up and fight one another like that. They're worshiping the devil and doing him a favor by showing up fighting one another. That is so insane, but I understand. I used to think that way too. I thought protesting did some good, and it doesn't. It's just both sides think that they're right. But they weren't, just FYI, those men in Catholic dresses were not offending God. They were not marking God. They were doing nothing but worshiping the devil. And the Christian went out with them and worshiped the devil with them. That's all happened. Both sides on an ego trip. You can't, if you want to be free, you can't fight with the devil in your mind or outside of you, inside of others. You fight with the devil, you're going to lose because you're on an ego trip thinking that you can fight spiritual things, and you can't. So it was a dumb idea. What?
If you think about it, the protesting, all this protesting stuff that's happened over the last 80 years or however long, or 100, however long, has only been Satan's tactic to advance Satan's agenda. The so-called civil rights stuff. It's the women's march stuff, the gays. It's only ever been to push evil. So why would we think that using Satan's tactic to push for quote-unquote good would do anything?
That's a good point. Ever since they are now, years ago, they wanted to come out the closet. Mm-hmm. They've just gone nuts, and they got other people fighting them, which is giving them more nuts to go nuts. And they'll pass so many laws now because it's important to them rather than the good people.
Yeah.
The so-called good people. They got all kind of laws now.
And it's kind of like, it kind of shows you how, like, the protesting is really like all the symptoms. Like, all these protests are the symptoms of the actual problem. When really the only thing we should be protesting, I mean, we shouldn't be protesting anything, but if we're protesting anything, it's about like what you talk about rebuilding the family.
Yeah.
Because then you wouldn't have to protest all these symptoms.
If fathers and mothers was on the right side of good and not in a fallen state and they had children, they would protect their children. There would be no fight with them. The devil would be trying to draw them in, but they wouldn't fall for it.
Yeah.
Because that's what the devil does. He draw you into his mess in your mind and emotions, because all thoughts are all lies all the time, and so are emotions, right? And he just draw you in. But if you let go and don't fight with him, he will have to go away and find somebody else to live in. What a mess. So stop taking sides. It ain't happening to you. Don't take sides. There's those people that want to put on dresses, Catholic outfits, and it's just a dress. And let them go out there and make a fool of themselves and show that their hearts are evil. And let them do it. It ain't bother you unless you're an emotional person, egotistical, angry, narcissistic person. And now you got to prove something. And all you're proving that you're wrong too. Stop fighting with the devil, inside of yourself and outside. You don't like the fact that they've been doing it for 10 years, you say? Well,
yeah, they've been doing the so-called Pride Night for 10 years.
And the Christians and Catholics just not finding out. Where they been? They've been going to the game for the last 10 years and they're just not finding out.
Yep.
They're a day late and $1 short.
Indeed.
You need a renewed mind. You, as an individual, are your own world. And if you want an amazing world, you need a renewed mind. Really. A clear mind. Let's do the super chat before you go, Hake.
Okay.
Super chat. One last thing about that. I promise you, had those Christians and Catholics not shown up, those people would have felt so stupid, and they would have gone back home, and they would have joined another group and fought with them. Because the devil got to fight with somebody in order to get a far sense of life. But if you're not of the devil, you ain't going to fight with no one. What you fighting for? You're in your own world. You can have an amazing world. Get to know yourself, folks, so you can see what's going on here. Super chat. Super chat. Super.
On the Fallen State, on the Fallen State YouTube channel, Mario Ubaldo says, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Too late. and happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the chat.
Yeah.
Bond family and also Jesse. Much love. Love and appreciate y'all. God bless y'all.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And happy Father's Day to you.
Yes, Marty. Happy Father's Day.
Is Marty a man or woman?
She's a woman.
Oh, happy Father's Day for your father.
Right.
Amazing. Thank you.
Jim Frost on the Fallen State YouTube. No message. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Super chat. YD Mr. Burns says on the Fallen State, thank you, JLP, for continuing to provide us with insight and compelling interviews for all these years now. Been watching religiously since 2013. Keep up the amazing work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's amazing to me that we are as an individual, we have our own world and don't know that. I didn't know I have my own world.
Yep.
What? Isn't that crazy? I could be at peace in my world, or I could be upset and unhappy and lonely and depressed and angry and all that in my own world. It's up to me. What the? Okay.
What the?
Thank you.
On Bond YouTube channel, this is Yesterday Church. Good morning, Jesse and crew. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Happy Father's Day, Jesse. Thanks for an amazing fellowship. Love and appreciate you guys. God bless y'all.
Amazing. Thank you. God bless you.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Ryan 8U with a
Ryan 8U
donation. Nope, no message.
Thank you.
Steve Strock says, Happy Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers.
Shout out to all the fathers, as Hake would say. Shout out to the Hate Report.
Sion gave a sticker that has a lemon wearing a cape with a body under it and another little puff thing that's green. Thank you. Sion.
Thank you, Sion. Appreciate it.
Stefan J. Davis on Bond YouTube channel. Return to the Father. Happy Father's Day.
There will come a day when I return the children to the fathers and the fathers to the children. That is needed now. If ever it was needed, it is needed now. What the?
Alicia Froman. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. J says, Hassan's dog and I cuddling on the dog bed, wishing Hassan, JLP, and all the amazing fathers a happy Father's Day. And shout out to angry women wishing their daddy Satan the same.
Who's that from?
Mr. J.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Joshua Boykin with a super chat donation. No message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jamie, or Jaime, is a new Bond channel supporter. You can support Bond on a monthly basis by becoming a Bond channel supporter. Thank you.
Amazing.
Jamie,
Thank you.
Piotr Robel says, thank you, Jesse and the team, for the best fellowship on this side of heaven. Happy Father's Day. May God help you all peacefully and patently endure.
Amazing. Thank you. If you were not there yesterday or you didn't catch it live, you owe it to yourself to watch. It was amazing. Rebuildingtheman.com/church.
Evgeny Crosby's been a Bond channel supporter for 11 months. He says, Church with Jesse Lee Peterson in one word, amazing.
Amazing. It was amazing.
Thank you to R.H. Hernandez IV, Dule, and Chris Cavana for the generous support. Super Chats, no message. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Lin Yun Chin says, tolerance is not acceptance. It's Mama Satan's act of bitter and pensive, waiting for the destruction of whomever you ate tolerant to. It's not of God to tolerate. God accepts equals let's go of our faults.
What the?
I don't quite understand that, but thank you.
Coldburger Art says, the world seems very feminine, makes me want to flip some tables in a tolerate way.
Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Thank you.
Mr. J says with another super chat, be still and know God.
Yeah, that's for sure. If you learn to not to overreact to things, it's not just learn it, though. You have to become that way. Just don't overreact and be still through all things. It's going to be amazing what you're going to discover. But when you overreact, you get deeper into your own darkness, into hell. And I know people love their hell. I know most people love their hell. They love it. Ain't nothing you can do about that. Wish them well in their hell. Amazing. Thank you.
Lin Yen Chin with a follow-up. He says, whoops, meant are tolerant to, not ate tolerant.
Thank you.
Tolerance is a mama term, he goes on. It is a fake acceptance, but real resentment. Mama tolerates, but hates God.
Amazing. Thank you.
J-Rock says, Happy Father's Day. Thank you, man.
Thank you. You too.
Freedom Fairy says...
Is J-Rock man or woman?
J-Rock, I always assumed it was a man.
You assume?
Yes.
Never assume.
Whatever.
Thank you, J-Rock.
Freedom Fairy says, Jesse, here's my dollar, which is my 2 cents after inflation. Audit the Fed, the Federal Reserve. It's not federal, and there is no reserves.
Amazing.
And that's her first super chat on Bond YouTube channel. Thank you, Freedom Fairy.
Thank you. Stop there.
Okay.
I want to get in some calls before we end it. Thank you all. I appreciate it. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Raheem. Raheem, a first-time caller out of North Carolina. Raheem, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
All is well.
I just want to say Happy Father's Day. It's truly an honor to talk to all of y'all, man. I'm really nervous right now, so I don't really,
Well, just relax. Are you a father?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for the Father Day wish, man. Thank you.
Okay. I stumbled upon your videos from TikTok and everything, and it's like you just opened my eyes to a lot of things. And like for a long time, my family, they don't believe in God and everything. I'm not judging them or nothing, but they don't believe in God. And for years they not listening to music and everything, and me wanting to be a big rapper. Them showing all the evil. It just, I don't know. It's just like it's a breath of fresh air to see somebody that's in the industry, in my eyes, in my view, to talk the way you talk. And, if you've been doing this for years, like, it's just crazy how, I feel like what you did and how viral you're going, everybody, all black people, you know, think the way you think. I don't know. I'm nervous. I don't know if I'm rambling right now, but yeah.
And you're right. That human beings need a change of heart. They need to drop the anger. They need to. The blacks and everyone needs to start becoming individuals again, and stop blaming and just live your life, and life will be amazing. It's not about racism and all these isms or white supremacism. It's about forgiving and living your life. You'll be fine.
And that's what I kind of wanted to touch on right quick, because I'm really into music, and I'm trying to get out of it because I see that it promotes so much evil, and that's what draws me to you, because it's like, how can you not believe it when they promote the devil so much?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. Go ahead.
Is it like, how can I not believe it if they promote the devil so much in their songs, and how black people now say we on demon time when we've never said that before? How you would say that a black person would complain about how we're not where we are, but you'll go home driving home to Lil Durk after you just did a protest about black people getting killed by the cops. And you praise all these rappers and all this stuff, and it's just like, how? It's just like, I don't know. It's like my mind just want to explode sometimes. Like, wow, like, it's so obvious now. So that's why I'm like, you and everybody in that room that has helped me try to find it. And it's hard for me right now because I'm trying to do the silent prayer and everything, but I do have a lot of anger. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause, like, if I go to the store and I get like a drink or something, and you know, our black women, they have attitude, you know, with the lasting thing, you know, like, you know, so that, you know, it's hard, man, because I don't want to have anger, but my people are gone.
Yeah,
and it's like, they got us. They really got us.
And so, do you want to overcome the anger?
I really do. I'm trying. I really do. And when I say this, I'm not trying to, you know, pander or kiss butt. I really want to find God. Like, you know, I never read the Bible before, but I'm really trying, like, every day. And when listening to you, like, it's helped me, like, just to calm down. Don't overreact.
Yeah.
Because when you overreact, you lead to darkness, more darkness. And I'm saying, like, if you don't believe what you got to say, for people that don't believe you, it's like, it just makes sense. Because it's like, if you don't overreact, I swear, like, sometimes it's not even what you think.
Yeah.
Sometimes that person not even talking about you. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a lie. People just be lying. Like, it's like, y'all really are, like, showing the truth. And I really, like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. And I really want to thank y'all. Like, and the question was today, though, I wanted to see what was the first step for me. Like, how do I find God? Like, how do I get, I ain't going to say like you, but in your shoes, like, you say you don't sin. And I'm like, how? Yes, I do smoke pot. Yes, I'm sorry, I don't want to disrespect anything on the show. But I do smoke pot. And I'm trying to stop that, too, because these thoughts come in your head after you smoke pot, like, all these insecurities and am I going to die tomorrow or some stuff like that because you're not doing something? I don't know. You're right. It's a lot.
How old are you?
Trying to stop. 26.
So have you heard me say you got to go and forgive your mother?
My mother, my mother left me when I was a baby, but you did say that. But I feel like the last time I talked to my mother was a text. I actually called her a demon.
You call her a demon?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, but you're right about that.
Yeah.
And so if you, and I want you to say this first. The reason you see where we are coming from, where I'm coming from, and the other guys around here coming from, is that God is with you and he is allowing you to see the truth. He allowing you to see what's going on. Most people are not seeking God. They don't want the truth. They love their hell. They love their lies. They love their anger and their hatred. And they don't want the truth, but you do. And because you want it, God is allowing you to see where we're coming from. It's not because a human being cannot make you see. They can't cause you to see. Only God can do that. So he's with you. But all you got to do now, you need to who raised you since your mother, your grandmother, or someone?
My dad and my stepmother.
Oh, okay. You need to forgive your mother for whatever reason she left. As you said, she's a demon. She can help herself. The demon, she has the same anger that everyone has, and she has not forgiven. And so she wasn't able to do it and better than what she did because she's driven by hatred in her heart. She had nothing to offer you. So you need to forgive her. Hey, I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize now you can help yourself. And forgive your father and stepmother for whatever mistake they made. And when you do that, Raheem, God gonna forgive you. He's gonna draw you into the kingdom of heaven within and renew your mind, and your life will be amazing. He's already with you.
Do I have to speak to them, or?
I'm sorry?
Do I have to speak to them?
Yes.
Send a text, no?
Yeah. If you are able to talk to them in person or FaceTime, because you want to be looking at them, if at all possible, so you can get your courage back. It's going to be, you're going to shake in your boots, but it'll be the last time you ever shake, because fear will disappear once the anger disappears. You got to forgive them. They couldn't help themselves.
So, I'm sorry, I just want a little detail. Like, actually go to them and say, hey, I forgive you.
Right. I'm sorry for
mean it.
Yeah, I'm sorry for resenting you, or being angry at you. I realize you couldn't help yourself now. And don't ask for forgiveness from them or anyone. You forgive them. You apologize for resenting them, because in resenting them, you were playing God, and that's why you've been suffering. But once you forgive, you will no longer play God. You'll see what's wrong, but you won't hate what you see, and you'll be able to deal with it in the right way. And so don't ask them to forgive you. If they had any decency in them, they'll let it go anyway. But you forgive them, and God will forgive you.
Yes, sir.
And have no expectation. If they get angry, that's on them. It has nothing to do with you. If they start crying, if they fall out and die, it's on them. It has nothing to do with you at all. You will still walk away free. They would be having a hard time because they don't want to admit that they're wrong. And that's on them. It has nothing to do with you.
Thank you.
Just say, hey, I'm sorry for resenting you guys. I realize now you couldn't help yourself. And do the silent prayer so God can bring you out of all those thoughts that you've been living in due to the anger that you have. He will bring you out of your imagination and set you free.
Is there a particular way that you do the silent prayer?
You haven't done it yet?
Oh, I try to sit still, and I just sit down on the edge of my bed, and I just try to sit still and clear my thoughts.
You haven't seen my video on how to do the silent prayer?
I think I have, but I don't remember it.
www.silentprayer.video. Can you hold for a minute?
Yes, sir.
Hold on, let me take a break. I gotta take a break. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, and individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they will become it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Father's Day is just a side note. The real holiday is Juneteenth. And severe storms are threatening the southeast. Also, heat alerts. Did you know that? Make sure you drink your water. Blinken and Xi Jinping, Antony Blinken, will repair U.S.-China relations in Beijing today, if not already. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. June 19th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour two. Jesse Lee will be right back to your calls. But first, Hake news, not fake news. But there is fake holidays. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports. Seems like CNN neglected to mention, or Hake missed it, that Sunday was Father's Day. I didn't even mention it all last week. Today's the contrived fake holiday Juneteenth with hate parades and ceremonies. Lame women and space enthusiasts are celebrating Sally Ride. Is she still alive? 40 years after she shattered the glass ceiling on her historic journey to space. But there is no glass ceiling. It's called the Van Allen belts, right? Something like that. Another kiss up to black people day. Today is Juneteenth, according to Commie Nonsense Network CNN. The federal holiday. It's a federal holiday now. But it's not very holy. Holidays are supposed to be holy days, commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. Many businesses, post offices, and schools will be closed today. They just wanted a day off. I can relate. I can sympathize as the nation celebrates the profound achievements of African Americans over the past 158 years. They mean blacks, right? Juneteenth is observed annually on June 19th to remember the day when Union Army General Gordon Granger told enslaved people, also known as slaves in Galveston, Texas, that they had been liberated on June 19th, 1865, nearly 3 years after then so-called President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation to end slavery in the United States in honor members of the black community and allies, meaning communists, will participate in joyful festivities today while vowing to continue the fight for equity and justice. Extreme weather. More than 50 million people across the southeast face the threat of severe storms today, as widespread power outages have left nearly 500,000 across the south in the dark, including some sweltering under record-breaking temperatures. A level 2 or 5 at slight risk of severe weather is in place across parts of Louisiana, Florida, Alabama, Georgia. The main threats are damaging wind gusts, large hail, and isolated tornadoes. The same system spawned a reported tornado in Mississippi on Sunday that left multiple injuries and structural damage. Did you know? Meanwhile, around 35 million people in the region are under heat alerts. The National Weather Service is advising residents across several states to limit time outside and stay hydrated. That means drink your water. China-U.S. relations. Weak Blinken gonna fix it. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports Chinese leader Xi Jinping and top American diplomat Antony Blinken met in Beijing today in a potentially crucial step toward mending U.S.-China relations. Blinken is the first U.S. Secretary of State to visit Beijing in 5 years, with the two global powers increasingly at odds over a host of issues. Earlier this year, a Chinese spy balloon, or two or three or however many, detected floating across the United States and hovering over sensitive military sites, sent relations plunging into a new low. The countries have also been at loggerheads over Beijing's close ties to Moscow, that's Russia, to Americans' efforts to limit the sale of advanced technologies to China. Both the U.S. and China have played down expectations of a major breakthrough during Blinken's visit, and it remains to be seen whether the country's bitterly cold relationship will show signs of warning. There's an update on Taylor Swift, but I'll have to save that for the next hour. So hold on to your britches. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, hour two.
to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, JESSE. Brand new biblical question this week. Why are you ashamed of your anger and hatred in you? Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? Interesting question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about and you don't have time to sit and watch it right now, you're working out, whatever you might be doing, anywhere in the world, we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. You can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad. You can podcast later by calling 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and Cozy, COZY.TV/JLP. Cozy.TV/JLP. I want to go quickly back to Raheem. And we were talking about forgiveness and the silent prayer. Raheem.
Yes, sir.
What was it like growing up with a stepmother for you?
She was very mean, but I think she did a great job.
Well, forgive her.
My dad wasn't there. I'm sorry.
You say your dad what?
He really wasn't there a lot, but he raised us a little bit, and then stepmother came in the picture. Then he was working a lot.
Well, forgive her, too, for what mistakes she made, because it's not good for kids to have step-parents. And so forgive her, and God will forgive you. And then I want to encourage you to go to www.silentprayer.video and start doing the silent prayer, because what's going to happen is once you forgive, and you're going to be able to see that all thoughts are all lies all the time, except practical thoughts like, I got to go to work, I want a hamburger for dinner, little stuff like that. You don't live by those thoughts, you just do them. But he's going to bring you out. He's going to bring you out of your thoughts and cause you to just live in the present. You will forget about yesterday. You will not think about tomorrow, because neither exists anyway. It's an illusion now. But he'll bring you out of your thoughts. And I'm telling you, man, you're going to have an amazing life.
I believe it. I really believe it, man. And like I say, when I say I believe it, I'm not here to pander.
Yeah.
Or just say something good. I'm telling you are telling the truth, man. Like, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to call everybody and say I forgive you.
That's right. And forgive them. And again, have no expectation from them. If they apologize, fine. If they don't, fine. You're going to be fine, because God will forgive you and make you free. He's going to open your eyes even wider that you may see even clearer. And just let those thoughts pass and just stay present instead of thinking about yesterday or tomorrow. Just stay. All you really have is right now. Everything else is an illusion.
Thank you so much.
All right. It's good to hear from you.
Y'all have a good one.
All right. Let me know how it goes, all right?
Thank you. I will.
All right, buddy. You got to forgive, folks, if you want to be free. If mama and daddy don't want to be free, that's on them. They have a right to stay in their hell. God will leave them right there And he'll sit up there, he and his son Jesus, and have some cafe mocha with sometimes they have a roll with peanuts and stuff in it. And Jesus have to heat it up when he get home because he was walking home from the cafe place and it got cold. So he have to heat it up, but it's good. And he'll let you just suffer in your own hell. And anyone who has anger is a narcissistic person. Anyone, male or female. If you doubt me, watch this from Fox. A TikToker reportedly faked his own death, then returned to the funeral in a helicopter to teach his family a life lesson after they grew apart. Watch this from Sky News.
I think we have found the world's greatest narcissist. A Belgian man faked his own death, convincing his wife and children to help him let the rest of the family know that he'd died, and then he came to his own funeral in a helicopter to surprise them. David Bairton, 45, said he wanted to see who really cared about him and who would show up at his funeral.
David Bairton's children announced his death on social media after the 45-year-old felt underappreciated by his wider family. The man, who has 160,000 followers on TikTok, received online backlash for the stunt. Not surprised by that. Following the negative response, the 45-year-old said he was ashamed at what he'd done. See, there you go.
Amazing. That's what anger will make you do. Anger will cause you to do that, do crazy things like that. And the thing about it, that's not going to change one mind in the family. Ain't nothing going to change. They didn't love him then, and they don't love him now. And he's still going to be miserable because he tried to get love from someone else, and people don't have love to give. People only have hate to give. They don't have love. You know something? The devil is controlling him. That is mind-blowing. And every human being, you're no different. You're no different than that. You're narcissistic. You can't help it. And I've said over and over again that anyone who, and it's in the Word, it's in the Scripture, anyone who has anger is a murderer. I want to show you a compilation of recent violence. Watch this compilation.
Video of the scene from earlier this morning. We're told by fire officials gunshots rang out around 12:30 in the morning. You can see a massive response by multiple law enforcement agencies. Debris and litter in some parts of the parking lot left behind in the aftermath. The witness saying over 200 people were gathered here when a car drove up. The passenger of that car, we're told, fired shots before they drove away.
Inside this blue Mustang, an 8-year-old boy from Auburn was shot Monday evening. Kent police say he was in the car with his mother, a toddler, and a baby when bullets pierced through the car. Police say it was rush hour when a suspect driving in a newer car shot at the Mustang with the mother and kids inside.
Several children were stabbed on a playground. It happened in the Alpine town of Annecy. That's about 5 hours southeast of Paris, and it's not far from Geneva, Switzerland. Officials say an attacker with a knife wounded 4 children and 1 adult in a park. 3 of the victims are said to be in critical condition. Police say the suspect was quickly apprehended, taken into custody. They say he is a Syrian national with legal refugee status in France.
Stranger opens fire on a pregnant woman and her husband sitting in their car.
As residents and business owners pay their respects for owner Aina Kwan, a 34-year-old expecting mother who, according to autopsy results released Wednesday, was shot 4 times Tuesday morning.
The suspect's escorted away by police. Head bowed, his shameful rampage over. Officers were called to Ilkeston Road just after 4 a.m, where students Barnaby Webber and Grace Kumar were found stabbed and unresponsive, and moved to Magdala Road, killing Ian Coates before stealing his van. He then used it to run over 3 people in the Milton Street area. This is thought to be him trying to get into the shelter for the vulnerable. An arm inside punches him back.
Denver police say it was a confrontation between individuals in two separate vehicles. Now, a 25-year-old driver is accused of killing two people in the other vehicle. There were a handful of folks, as you might imagine, on the highway who actually witnessed the incident.
Officers responding to the 100 block of Davis Street on the city's southwest side not long after midnight. When police arrived, they found hundreds of people gathering in the street. That's when officers entered the crowd and found several victims either shot, stabbed, or hit by fleeing cars after shots were fired.
Police share it was a fellow passenger who found the 32-year-old man on the subway, unconscious with stab wounds. The passenger was found at around 4 Saturday morning and was pronounced dead on arrival at Bellevue Hospital. The man's death is being investigated as a homicide.
Amazing. So you still think anger is good? You still think every human being has it, so you should keep it? You still believe Jesus was angry? Don't let anyone convince you. Do what you want. But I recommend don't let anyone convince you that anger is good. And that Jesus was angry. That's a lie. They're just trying to justify their own anger. That's why they tell you Jesus was angry and anger is good. Anger is evil. Why do you think the world's so screwed up? People are angry. They have no real love. They have that emotional fake love, but that's not love. You have anger, you are a murderer. And you roam the earth to try to see who you can murder spiritually so you can have a false sense of life, not realize you're spiritually dead. Anyone that has anger is spiritually dead. Anger is not good, folks. And anger is being pushed now around the world, and especially in my country, as good. They say, oh, manage your anger. You can manage it. No, you can't. You can't manage anything. You're not in control of anything. You can't do anything of yourself. So you're not in control. It's a spirit, and it's evil. That's why human beings who have anger have no love. They don't love their children. They don't love themselves. They love no one. They're narcissistic. It's all about them, their ego. Amazing. Let me go quickly to, that's some amazing stuff there. It is amazing. Overcome anger, you could be free and let everybody else be angry. You can live in your world free and let them live as slaves. And wish them well. Trey is out of New Jersey. Trey, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Justin.
Hey,
can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. How are we doing today?
All is well.
Great to hear that. All is well. So I've been doing like a little bit of thinking, right? And I was talking to a few people about this as well, and they disagreed with me heavily. But it's more about God, right? And I think we're all searching for God, right? And what the true meaning is. I could be wrong. Correct me, let me know what you think. I think that God, does God give us blessings, all right? Or are we blessing ourselves with our own mindset and just following God naturally? So, a lot of people will say, oh, God bless you with this, God bless you with that. However, I also do believe that maybe that person just has a particular mindset and is smart enough not to put themselves in a certain situation. And they're blessing themselves in a sense, really. And I'm thinking maybe God isn't really blessing us. Maybe he just put us all on earth to watch us and see, how we react and who's really working hard and putting themselves forward and following the word of God. So is God really blessing us, or are we blessing ourselves by our mindset and work ethic?
Number one is every human being on this side of heaven, every human being that's born through the woman is yearning for the Father, a return to God, to the Father. That's why when you forgive your mother and your earthly father, you would then return to God. and then you will see that you're already blessed. It's just not you that is cursed, because it's the nature of the devil. Anyone that has anger is of their father, the devil, right? And so it's that fake nature, that false identity, all these identities people take on, that's the curse. But when you overcome those identities, you will see that you are blessed, and you just live that way. It would never be up for question or anything. But unless you be born again of the Father, you will live in darkness, and that's where the curse is. It's in the darkness of the imagination and the emotions. But you are already blessed. You're right about that.
Right. Now, this is one of my problems that I think a lot of people think that they're like waiting for some type of, nowadays, we're speaking about like, how people are expecting some type of handout a lot.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's why they rely on God, saying, oh, God, I need you to give me this handout. God, I need you to bless me. God, I need you to, But I really think that God is, one of my favorite quotes is, victory favors the brave. Basically just saying that, you overcome your challenges. You worked hard. You did this. You did that. You worked hard in school. You didn't have children out of wedlock. You didn't, you just basically stuck to your true nature, believed, and now you've achieved all these things. And so that's why I say, does God really bless us? That's why I say that. Because like I said, people say, oh, I'm praying and waiting for this and waiting for that. Why are you waiting when you need to go and work? I'm not saying we should we believe in God. We believe in God, right? But are we supposed to rely on God to do A, B, C, D? Like our parents, are we supposed to rely on our parents? No, our parents let us go into the world, and then we can figure it out on our own. That's how I kind of perceive God.
Absolutely. And the people who pray, oh, God, help me, God, give me this, God, give me that, they're really praying, they're worshiping the devil, and they're calling him God. They're not truly praying to God, because in all honesty, all of our needs are already met. We already have everything we need. But when you have anger and you live in your imagination, you can't see that you already have everything. And so you pray to the devil and you call him God. Right.
That kind of makes sense. Yeah, they were mad at me last night, and they said I need to go find God because I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I do believe in God. They said, no, you don't. I said, yes, I do. I believe in God. However, I'm not going to sit there and pray, God, I need you. I'll pray to God saying, thank you for, giving me challenges every day.
Yeah.
Because challenges, with challenges, you get to prove who you are.
That's
right. A lot of people don't really look at it that way. They look at it as, oh, I have a challenge. This sucks. I don't want to do this. Yeah. No, a challenge is a way of proving and showing it, like, your character and who you are,
Absolutely, man.
You're tough, and you overcame this. So
Absolutely.
That's my perception. That's why I toss it out there this morning,
Right on.
That's why I have to look at it.
And those people who are telling you, oh, you need to go find God, or whatever they're telling you, don't ever try to prove to them anything. Never try to prove anything. You just live your life, but never try to prove. Don't argue with them. You can speak the truth to them, but be done with it. Don't try to make them see it or anything.
Oh, another question. Why are people so scared of the truth? I want the truth. If it hurts, I'll eat it up and endure it. Why are we so scared of the truth?
Because they love the lie. They are in love with.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they're in love with the lie. They believed in it, and they would not want you to make them or even suggest that they give it up. They love it.
It's kind of baffles me because as a child, I thought adults were like, reasonable. Then the older I got, I'm like, okay, some of y'all just aren't where I thought y'all were supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's like the simplest of things are supposed to just like make sense.
Yeah.
But now it's just like overthinking and sugarcoating. I hate that word, sugarcoating, and I hate the sugarcoat thing. I don't sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
Even with women, I don't sugarcoat. And I hear a lot of guys saying, you have to lie to her. I'm like, well, I'm not. No, if I have to lie to you, I don't want you in my life.
That's right, man.
I don't lie. I keep it real and honest because, I don't want to take my name like that. So Thank you, Justin. I hope all your viewers, picked up something good from that.
All right, man. Thank you.
And I hope, yes, sir. Hope everyone has a great week. Be productive.
All right, you too, buddy. Amazing. 888-7753-773. That's the line open. Russ out of Virginia. Hey, Russ, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. You're an old gentleman, and you have a son, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
I have I have a son, 2 grandkids, and 2 great-grandkids.
Okay. This is what I want to ask you, because I get advice from my old friends all the time, and I feel like I'm being disrespected by my kids. My kids ignore me. For example, yesterday was Father's Day. Did I hear anything from my kids? No, nothing. They ignore me. My friends always tell me, "Yo, man, just forget them. They don't exist. Cut them out your life." That's very easy to hear, but that's very difficult to do, because when I grew up, my kids were my everything, if that makes sense. So how do you just cut them off like that?
First of all, why do you need them to respect you or to call you on Father's Day? Why do you personally need that?
Because those are my kids, and they were my world, and I lived for them, and they were my everything.
Right. That's where you went wrong. You're not supposed to make your kids or anyone or anything your world, and you're not supposed to live for them, because they are taking the place of God, and when they're gone, you're going to experience what you're experiencing.
Well, no. They weren't God. That's not true.
But you made them into a God. That's why you're suffering, because they're no longer around. But if they,
I did not make them into a God. They were my children. I was their father, and I raised them, and I loved them. But they weren't God. I don't believe in God. They weren't God.
If you loved them, you wouldn't be missing them.
Why would I not miss them?
Because love only comes from God.
No. You believe in God. I don't.
Okay. Well,
so
then
when you keep saying God, that means nothing to me.
Nice. Well, you're just going to continue to suffer then. You love your misery.
And also, you always talk about, what do you say? What do you say about mothers? You say, not repent, but what do you say about mothers? You say, what is it that you say about mothers?
I say a lot of things. I don't know what you're referring to.
No. You say, not respect mothers. You say, I can't remember what you always say. Forgive them. Yeah, forgive them. I had a huge discussion with my mother when I was able to get a whole bunch of stuff off my chest. Because here's the thing. My mother is a Christian. And there's one thing that I've always noticed about Christians. And you say this about atheists. You say that atheists always try to change people into thinking what they think. And for me, it's just the opposite. I'm an atheist. I'll never try to change anybody. I never try to tell anybody to think what I think. I think what I think. That's my business, and I keep it to myself. And if you're a Christian and you believe in God, great, wonderful. I'm never going to try to change your mind. I'm never going to try to tell you you're wrong. I'm going to let you live what you live and let you believe what you believe. And that's the thing about my mom. She's a Christian, and she always tries to change me to be a Christian. And my thing is, listen, I don't believe that. Just leave me alone and let me believe what I believe. If you want to be a Christian, fine, be a Christian. Believe in God. That's wonderful. I'm not going to try to change your mind. I'm not going to try to say nothing negative about that. You believe in God. Fine, wonderful. Do that. But stop telling me about it, because I don't want to hear it, because I don't believe.
Well, Christians,
it's not true to me.
Christians are atheists.
No.
They don't believe in God.
Christians are not atheists.
So what?
Christians are not atheists.
Yes, they are.
No. I don't believe.
Why do you say they're not atheists?
Because Christians believe in God.
No, they don't.
Jesse, are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Do you believe in God?
No.
You don't believe in God?
No.
You don't believe a God exists?
Yes.
Well, then you're not an atheist because you believe.
Amazing. Russ, thank you, man.
I don't believe.
I appreciate it. Well, just suffer until you're ready to, and like I said, most people love their hell. They love their suffering. So just live in your suffering, and I wish you well with it. All right? Just stay in your misery.
Yeah, all right. Well, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to hook up with Joel Friday Dominic, and we're going to write some music, and then my whole life will change after that.
Okay. Thank you, man. I got to run. Jason, 888-7753-773. Just live in your hell, man. Really. No sweat off my back at all. I wish you well in your hell. Jason is out of Buffalo, New York. Jason, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, man? Can I get an apology?
Can you get what?
An apology, because when I talked to you last time, you said that you didn't say something and you did, and from the time before you said I was wrong, and I wasn't wrong, I was right.
What did I say?
You said that you didn't say the song lyrics and stuff like that. That's why I hung up, because you said something and you didn't say that. That's why I hung up.
What was it that I said? What did I say?
You think every time. You said when you think about the world today, you feel you were so sorrow, and it's like the song don't even have "woe is me" in the song though. But that's like, but it doesn't say.
The song doesn't have "woe is me."
No, it doesn't say. When I heard it, I didn't hear "woe is me" in the song. I didn't hear "woe is me."
You said the song. What song?
The song, the Save the Children song, the Marvin Gaye song.
Oh,
and I think this would be a good.
And you said it doesn't have "woe is me."
It doesn't have "woe is me," and it doesn't say "think." It says "look." It says "look," and it doesn't say "think."
And did I say that it had "woe is me"?
No, I mean you didn't say it. You didn't say the "woe is me." But let's talk about the think and the look thing, though. Let's talk about the think and look.
Stay with that one thing first. You said that I say "woe is me."
That's what you said. You said that. You said that.
I said you said I said "woe is me" is in the song.
I did not say that. That's not. I said "woe is me" is not in the song. That's what I said. I said the "woe is me" is not in the song. That's what I said.
The "woe is me" is not in the song.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. That's why I informed you that is not in the song.
But I never said "woe is me" is in the song.
But you said you are singing a song, and you said it is a song. So when I went to listen to the song, when I went to listen to it, I went to listen for the "woe is me" part.
But I never said "woe is me" was in Marvin Gaye's song.
When I talked to you last time, when I told you, when you think of the world today and all that, you remember that phrase? And I told you, when you said, "Oh, it's a song by
when
Marvin Gaye."
I think of the world, it fills me with sorrow.
But it doesn't
Children today,
those are not the lyrics.
Gonna suffer tomorrow.
Those are not the lyrics.
Oh, what a shame.
You want me to hang up because you're wrong.
Such a sad way to live. Who really cares?
You're mad because you know the truth.
Who is willing to try
but you tell people
to save a world?
This is so, that's what we get. You're a Republican, dude. Hands down, you're a Republican. You should go ahead and come out and being gay. Because if you said some gay stuff before, you ain't going to let me get that out.
Thank you, Jason. I got to take a break. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't wanna be angry. You wanna speak up, you wanna disagree with what's going on, it's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear, you won't have doubt, you won't have worries, you'll be able to see, but you gotta stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. All right, folks, welcome back. There is a line open at 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Quick announcements. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake Report from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby Show at 12 noon today. You don't want to miss it. And don't forget, if you didn't catch the brand new episode of The Fallen State last Friday podcast, it was amazing. It really, really was amazing. For a specialized shout-out, personal shout-outs, birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, encouragement, happy Father's Day, whatever the occasion is, congratulations. I do them myself. Go to Cameo. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right? And don't forget, you can help support us at Cash App. Cash.app, I think. I'm trying to find it here. Cash.app/Bond JLP. Cash.app/Bond JLP. All right? Let's do it back and finish some more of those super chat. In the meantime, Hassan.
Super chat.
Yes, sir.
While Hake is coming in, we were earlier in the first hour, we were talking about, the three of us were talking about that the Catholic and the Christian going down to the Dodger Stadium to protest the men in Catholic gowns. And it was just, both sides were wrong. The two devils fighting one another. And I've said for a while now that you should never argue with the devil, not inside of you or outside of you, inside of others. Never try to prove anything to anyone because it's just both sides are on an ego trip trying to prove that they're right. And it serves no good, zero good. And her son found something out of Proverbs. He's going to read that to you real fast.
Yeah, Proverbs 9:9. Anyone who corrects the wicked will get hurt. So don't bother correcting mockers. They will only hate you. But correct the wise, and they will love you. Instruct the wise, and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous, and they will learn even more.
That's deep.
What all verses were those? Proverbs 9.
Proverbs 9:9.
Wow, that's all one verse. Nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You got to stop arguing with the devil. It's just two devils. One devil called himself or herself Christian, and the other one called himself devil. Devil, devil, devil. It's the same devil. Really. You can't change another person. You can't change their hearts or anything. Only God can do that. And you're just supposed to be a living example of love. And those who are seeking the Father will see that. And they'll ask for help if they want it. If they don't want it, let them suffer in their hell. You heard the guy Russ, but he don't want no help. He doesn't believe in God. He loves his misery. And he has a right to. And he's right. His mother should not be trying to force anything on him. Let him live in his hell. God let you live in your hell. Look how long you've been living in your hell. And you think God cares? Not one iota. He's like, what the? And then those who seek him, he like, love you. He will help you. But you got to seek him first. You got to want it. Super chat.
Super chat.
Super chat.
That's deep, Hassar.
Amazing.
Nugget Man on Bond YouTube channel. He's been a Bond channel supporter, a member for 11 months. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
He says, thank you, Jesse, and everyone at Bond for all that you do. Amazing.
Amazing.
The writer gave a Bond super chat, says, listen to Blue in Green by Miles Davis every night. Heals better than silent prayer.
Amazing. Yeah, right.
Piotr Robel gave a sticker with a bowing pair saying thank you with a headband and putting his hands together. Thank you, Piotr Robel.
Thank you.
On Streamlabs, Alastro52. This is from yesterday. Alastro52 says, I'm watching this one video, and the speaker is talking about how women are of Satan. Tip for your producer. Great show. Many thanks, Alan. So we'll send that to the producer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alastro52, Alan. Streamlabs, Mike Young on JesseLeePeterson.live. Hey, Jesse. Uh-oh, it's that stupid holiday again, Juneteenth, and most black people still hate white people and not satisfied.
You got all the wrong people in the right places to make sure America never returns to normal. It's going to get worse. But you can get better. You can live in the worst world and have total peace. You are your own world. Amazing. Thank you.
Chicken Tenderson on Streamlabs. JesseLeePeterson.live. Is it normal to be fatigued or exhausted while the ego is dying? I've been doing the silent prayer, and I have been so tired I can barely do anything. I am starting to be concerned.
I don't know. I've not heard that before. Make sure you see a doctor in case it might be medical. But I've never heard anyone be fatigued and tired.
Well, didn't you say you should just lay on the couch?
Well, that was because the pain was so great I couldn't move. I didn't know it was the ego died. I remember when the ego first started having issues and wanted to die in me. Not didn't want to die. But when it tried to die, it was so painful. But I didn't know it was the ego. I just had to lay there and take it. But I wasn't like fatigued. I was still able to get up and go to work and, work out and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. No, but you used to say you used to come home from the mining place and just drop dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
The steel mill?
The steel mill, yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't fatigued like that. It sounded like that person did. And it didn't come from the silent prayer.
Oh, yeah.
What the? But thank you. But I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't know what's going on.
Greenwall gave a diamond on D Live asking,
Ask!
How can you tell what is real and what isn't real?
When your eyes are open, you're going to see what's real. Really, it's going to be clear to you. Right now, if you have anger, you don't see. You don't see that your family is not your family. You don't see that they don't love you. You don't see that your wife, or in case of a wife, her husband doesn't love her. You don't see that your so-called friends. It's an illusion. But that's why when people truly wake up, not just intellectual kind of stuff, the first thing they notice is that the people around them turned on them, and they thought they had friends and families and relationships and things like that, and they realized they never had it. And it's disappointing to a lot of people to realize that they never had love. They never had a family. But you'll see it. Once you truly forgive, you will come out of that illusion that you live in. It's amazing.
Riley JM on Streamlabs, JCLeePeterson.live. Anger is hell on earth. People with anger are retarded. That was my gasp. It was not his gasp.
Oh.
I gasped at his using the R word. I disavow.
But you're right about that, though. It's the truth. Anyone that has anger.
Yep. Star C on Peterson gave a super chat on Streamlabs, JCLeePeterson.live. Why must they keep remembering slavery and freedom of slavery, blah, blah? Why don't we just move forward? Question mark, question mark, question mark. That's the second time she did 3 triple question marks. Always thinking about victimhood while on this temporary world and not eternal life.
Yeah, they use it to keep the people in darkness, to keep them angry in order to control them. You can't control the person that is not into emotions. You only can control people when they're looking for a feel-good feeling or a bad feeling. And so that's why they keep doing this, to control the people. Thank you, Sion. Amazing.
Quintus Fabius Tactics he bought 3 coffees. This is on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk.
Nice.
New way to super chat. And he says, I'm assuming it's a he, answer to the biblical question.
Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you?
Mama's conditioning. Why are you laughing?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for, that's it?
Yeah,
For
that's it.
Thanks for responding. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. That's amazing.
And thanks for the 3 coffees. One for JLP, one for Hake, and one for Hassan.
Buymeacoffee.com/JLP
Talk.
Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. And to get your comments read out loud, to donate and get your comments read out loud, go to JesseLeePeterson.live and or buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk.
Nice. On Streamlabs, JCLeePeterson.live. Inosweri, sorry if I'm butchering your name, says, "Hi, Jesse, I'm German. I can tell one thing. We Germans lost World War II, and it was evil what we done. But we was on the bottom when we lost the war. We Germans saw the evil we done after we rise. Look now, where Germany is, we build. Blacks, Americans do the same."
They build? What do you mean do the same?
They're at the bottom. They see the evil that they done. They rise. Now they build. I don't know. I'm not sure what he means. He's German, so he may not be, English may not be his first language.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Mike Young on Streamlabs, JesseLeePeterson.live. Hey, Jesse, James Hake, and Hassan. Did you guys see what happened between Jim Crow Joe Biden and Eva Longoria?
I don't know who Eva Longoria is.
She's a Hispanic female model or something like that.
Oh.
Desperate Housewives.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
Really?
No, I don't remember seeing it.
I saw it.
Oh, what was it?
Well, they embraced, they hugged, because she's a liberal, right? She's one of those pro-Democrat liberals. Actress, producer, and director. And yes, you're right. Desperate Housewives.
Nice.
And so what was wrong with that?
No, they embraced, and then like his hand came kind of like close to where you're not supposed to be touching.
Where's that?
on the front part right here. And then she like moves his hands down.
Oh.
But he's tall and he's affectionate. That's how I saw it.
Amazing. Thank you, Mike.
Did you see it, Hassan?
I didn't.
Did you hear about it?
I thought maybe I heard about it, but
look like I've heard about it. I think my producer told me about it.
Yeah, people on Twitter were like, "Oh, creepy
I think
Joes."
I saw it on the news.
Yeah,
on a TV show.
I could see TV shows covering it.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. And thank you, guys. That is all for now, I do believe.
Amazing. Thank you all. Amazing. 888-77. Thank you very much. 888-7753-773. Jay is out of New Hampshire. Jay, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How you doing, man? Love the show. I've called in once or twice before. And recently I turned one of my friends on to checking you out on Sundays and a couple times during the week. And he happened to be watching on Sunday. And he did mention something to me that I wanted to ask you because I don't want to assume anything.
Okay.
There was a gentleman that you were speaking to towards the end of Sunday's church service where I think he was like a new, first time there. And you had asked him if he had anger. And you'd kind of quickly had said to him like that came from his mom. But my friend asked me, he's like, what if your dad has anger that came from his mom? Can't that still be passed from your dad? And really, it's not always the woman's fault. It's Eve's fault. But can't spirits be passed from, the spirit of anger be passed from your dad who got it from his mom? I mean, the original is... the original's coming from Eve. It doesn't always have to come from the mom, though.
It always comes from the woman. And yes, if his father has a spirit of that spirit of anger, he can pass it on to the children. It'll go to the children as well.
Right.
Because he will have no love. But anger is the spirit of the woman. It comes from the woman. And it's not her. It's not her, but it's that spirit that made a home in her. And you're right. It started from Eve.
Correct, because my buddy's wife, she's like, she finds it a little hard to listen to, and I'm like, yeah, but he's really talking to women in love, which is he's just bringing truth. It's not that he's not putting women down at all. But I just wanted to clarify that because he was like, my wife, of course, was going, how does he know it's the woman? How come he doesn't? How does he know that the anger didn't come from his dad, which still came from Eve? She goes, I understand that, but. She goes, it sounds like he just doesn't like women sometimes. And I'm like, he doesn't. I'm like, trust me, Jesse loves everybody. But I also wanted to answer the biblical question if that was all right.
Let me just say this first. She's not ready to admit she's wrong, so don't try to make her see it. You just mention it to her, but don't try to make her see it. And,
no, exactly.
And there are women who, when they first hear the devil in them, overreact to it because the devil doesn't want the ladies to know the truth. But some women are thinking about, wow, this makes sense. And they go and forgive, and they too go free. They return to their fathers. But it's hard for most women because they love the lie.
Oh, amen. That is the truth.
Yeah. So just let her suffer until she's ready to overcome.
Absolutely. And then the biblical question.
Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you?
I used to be for the longest time till I listened to your show a couple of years ago and actually woke up. I used to try to hide your anger and all of that, but then I accepted the fact that it was there. But I realized now, then I used to hide it all the time, but now I know that it's not mine. It's just Satan trying to get me to react to it, and having that wait and see attitude and being still. And being able to overcome it and actually, not reacting to it because the light of God is helping has been amazing.
And why were you ashamed of it before?
Oh, I was identifying with it. I thought it was mine, and I was like, man, this just doesn't, because inwardly, right, God is trying to show you that, you shouldn't be that way, right?
Right.
So then, of course, Satan uses that and makes you judge yourself, which is just insanity.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I appreciate you responding to that, Jay, and I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
God bless you, man. Thank you.
You too, buddy. Take care.
Bye.
888-7753-773. Drew out of the USA. Drew, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. How's everything going?
All is well. Are you? Come back to your phone.
Is this better? I'm here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so during that conversation with Russ that you were having, I think you said something like Christians, or rather all Christians are atheists or something like that?
Well, not all, but most.
Or most. Okay, so what you're saying is the people who profess to be Christian but aren't actually living according to the truth, those are the people who don't believe in God.
Those that because we believing in God is surface. It's believing about God. They don't believe in Him, right? And if they believed in God, they would know Him. They would not believe in Him. They would know Him. But when they believe, they just believe about Him, and that's why nothing ever changes. Never changes in them.
Okay, so those two words for you are different: knowledge and belief.
We should know Him and not believe about Him.
Okay.
And believing about Him is intellectual. And if you notice that the Christians that believe about Him or believe in Him, they say, they still have anger of the heart, they have fear, they have doubt, they're lonely, they're insecure, they judge, nothing has changed. They're still atheists.
Very interesting. It's in the Bible, Christ says you'll know a tree by its fruit.
Yeah.
So that also goes hand in hand with that. But I also wanted to ask, do you mind if I answer the biblical question?
All right. What are you trying? No. Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you?
That's actually such a good question. Usually, I'll put it this way. In my case, I'm not ashamed of it at all because it doesn't exist. I don't have it. And even if, let's say, I was under the temptation where I could feel anger, I would know that it's a temptation from Satan trying to get me to do something as opposed to it being me actually doing that thing. So there's no reason to be ashamed about it. But in order to overcome it, you have to see it and then just let it pass. So there's no shame. I'm not ashamed of it.
And so before you overcame it, were you ashamed of it?
Yes.
And why were you ashamed of the anger and the hatred in you at the time?
Okay, well, it's twofold. So as a guy, when you're among your peers, boarding school or whatever it is, if you're the one who gets angry, all your friends will laugh at you. You know what I mean? They'll look at you and they'll be like, look, he's angry. And then it'll just get worse. They'll just keep piling on you, making jokes about how bad you are. And, you'll get more and more angry. But as a kid, as you're being raised by your parents, if you do get angry, your parents will, instead of dealing with it the right way, oftentimes what you'll see is your parents will get angry in response to you being angry.
Yeah.
And so what that makes you feel as a kid is that you've done something wrong, which is why you feel shamed about being angry.
Well, I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday, Drew. I appreciate. Hey, do I hear your alarm chirping in the background?
Yeah, I need to change the battery. But I wanted to
change the battery. What the?
Yeah, it just started today. I got it covered. But I wanted to say, I have a great story about overcoming anger, if I can share that.
Well, I got to take a break. Can you call me later?
Okay.
I got to take a break.
Yeah.
All right. I got to take a break. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, He will fight the battle for you. And He will fight it without, because He will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, He will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before Him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
Sleepy Joe announced he's supposed to fund climate resilience projects today. There was a mass shooting at a Juneteenth celebration in Illinois. Did you hear about that? Terrible. Not even predictable at all. Who could have predicted? And Pakistani refugees, 300 of them, died in a sinking overcrowded boat off the coast of Greece. The refugee wannabes. Terrible. And your daily dose of Ukraine propaganda is coming up. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. June 19th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 3. Last hour of JLP is coming right up. Back to your calls. There is one line open. You can call in. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Well, you can call in even during Hake news. The evil climate agenda. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports so-called President Sleepy Joe Biden will announce new federal funding for climate resilience projects today. Ever heard of that? According to a White House official, black on the inside, it comes less than a week after 4 major environmentalist groups backed Sleepy Joe's campaign for a second term in a notable joint endorsement. Green is the new red, am I right? In a speech in Washington after the endorsement, Sleepy Joe called climate change the only true existential threat, adding, quote, "If we don't meet the requirements that we're looking at, we're in real trouble." Sleepy Joe heavily courted climate and environmental justice groups. Did you know that there's such a thing as environmental justice? Not during his 2020 campaign, and has made combating the climate change central to his government agenda, with announcements over the past few months on environmental justice initiatives, whatever that means, and aggressive new rules to regulate planet-warming pollution from the natural gas power plants. Juneteenth mass shooting. Commie Nonsense Network CNN shares a quote, "Gathering for a holiday celebration should be a joyful occasion, not a time where gunfire erupts and families are forced to run for safety." That's a quote from Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, a Democrat, sharing condolences after a mass shooting in Willowbrook, Illinois on Sunday at a Juneteenth celebration. Probably not by a white. It killed 1 person and injured at least 22 others. Also over the weekend, 2 people were killed in a shooting in Washington state, I guess, and at least 1 juvenile was killed in a separate shooting in St. Louis. There have been more than 310 mass shootings in the U.S. so far this year, according to the Gun Violence Archive. Gun violence, no such thing. Paki refugees died in a sinking, overcrowding boat. 300. That's how many Pakistani nationals have been killed in the sinking of an overcrowded boat off the coast of Greece. The latest tragedy, according to Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, to expose the refugee crisis confronting the EU, European Union. This comes as Pakistan is in the midst of its worst economic crisis in decades, so it's just having an economic crisis, with efforts to secure a financial lifeline from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, complicated by political turmoil in the country. In your daily dose of Ukraine propaganda, the United Nations, evil United Nations, UN, has condemned Russia for denying humanitarian aid access to occupied areas affected by the massive dam collapse that destroyed Odessa's coastline earlier this month. The flood carried filthy water downstream and off the southern coast, posing serious health risks. Authorities have been raising the alarm about the declining water quality, saying that lab tests have identified infectious agents over the past week. Traces of salmonella, worms' eggs, and worms' larvae were all found in the water, which also significantly exceeded permitted levels of E. coli. Wow. Still remains unclear whether the dam was deliberately targeted or if structural failure was behind its collapse. And who done it? Was it Russia? Was it Ukraine? Taylor Swift draws record-breaking crowd during Eras Tour concert. The pop star, formerly a country music star, wholesome, no longer so, broke an attendance record at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, PA, with more than 73,000 so-called Swifties flocked to the concert. There's your news. Not as exciting as I might have thought. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53-773, 888-77-JESSE, JESSE. Brand new biblical question for this week. Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, working out, laying up at a beach somewhere, running away from the black shooting in Chicago or anywhere, you could be listening to the show by calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and Cozy, COZY.TV/JLP. Subscribe, like, ring the bell, and all those good things. Y'all know what to do. All right? You know what to do. Manuel is the first time I call out of Houston, Texas. Manuel, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Manuel,
Hello, Jesse. How are you?
Manuel, all is well.
Thank you for receiving my call. Sorry for my English. I'm no English speaker.
Okay.
And my first language is Spanish, but I want to ask you about why I continue feeling hate if I already forgive my father and my mother.
Why you still feel hate if you've forgiven them?
Yes.
Only because you believe in thoughts. So just relax and just notice it and let it pass, and the light of God will rebuke that spirit of away from you. You'll be fine. It's not you.
But I forgive my father and my mother like 2 months ago,
right,
or something like that. And I continue feeling hate, for example, with women in the work, or even hate for myself. I don't know what happened. And even I like a little disappointment with God that I make my best effort. I try to do the right things. Or I don't know, but I feel really alone, you know.
You feeling alone?
I feel like really alone. And I know that is hate too, you know. But I don't.
When did you start feeling alone?
When that happened?
Yes. When did you start feeling alone?
Most of the time. You know, I feel alone most of the time.
Did you feel that way before you forgave or after you forgave?
Before.
You felt alone before?
Yes.
Oh, okay. In reality, you are alone. These people who are supposed to be all together, families and so-called relationships and friends, they are all alone too. And they are using one another to keep from feeling it. But they're alone too. That's why relationships don't work, because they're not real. So
Okay.
every human being feel that way. So when you feel that way now, just know that that's not you, that's the ego, and just let it pass. Don't identify with it anymore, and that alone feeling will disappear.
Okay.
So just,
Okay, Jesse.
yeah, don't identify with it as though it's you. It is not you at all. And so all the feelings that you're getting now is the nature of the devil. It's not you, period. And so just allow yourself to feel it and let it pass, and eventually it will all disappear. It'll be over with.
Okay, Jesse. I will let it pass and let's see what happens.
Yeah, are you doing the silent prayer?
No, sir. No, really not.
Start doing it. Go to www.silentprayer.video. www.silentprayer.video. Start doing it so you can let those thoughts pass. All the thoughts you're having are lies. All thoughts are all lies all the time.
Okay, Jesse. Thank you so much.
All right. I wish you well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now. There's a line open now at 888-7753-773. I want to tell you about a few things, and then I go back to the calls and your super chats and all that. There is something called Juneteenth, something. And what happened was they said that when slavery ended, there were a few black people in some part of Texas who did not know that slavery had ended. Apparently, they heard about it years later or at some other time. And now, because a few black people didn't hear that slavery had ended in Texas, they have created a national holiday. Can you get any dumber than that? All the right people in the wrong places to make sure America will never, ever return again. They hate America. And it's not even real. And I heard a black man who ran for office somewhere in the country here. He ran for office. He seemed to be an older guy, like. And he said that the real story is that the so-called leadership are the one who came up with this idea of making Juneteenth a holiday, a national holiday. And they came up with it because they don't want to celebrate 4th of July anymore. They call it a white man religion, I guess, white man thing. And they don't want to celebrate it. And he said people like Maxine Waters and all those wicked people, that they want to make Juneteenth like a 4th of July, something like that. And they don't want to celebrate it. That's why they came up with this insane idea about Juneteenth. And most black people do not have a problem with the 4th of July, believe me. But it's a way of keeping the blacks still angry and separated, so that the blacks and the whites can fight one another in order for these evil people to control the folk for perceived power and wealth. This is from KHOU. Watch this.
Some of you may wonder, what exactly is that? Well, it commemorates June 19th, 1865, when Union Army General Gordon Granger stood on the balcony of the Ashton Villa in Galveston and said, in part, in accordance with a proclamation, all slaves are free. He was referring to President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation that was issued in January of 1863. So why did it take so long for word to reach slaves in Texas? Texas, remember, was part of the Confederacy, and the war didn't end until April of 1865. So until the Union Army arrived in Galveston 2 months later, slaves there weren't aware of the proclamation. And until the war was over, the proclamation was meaningless. In 1866, former Texas slaves began celebrating Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, a celebration that continues to this very day.
What a mess. A real live mess. Destroying my country. Reparation now, reparation forever. And black people, you need to become, do what you want, of course, individuals again. The way you were before the so-called civil rights movement and all this mess was not going on, it wasn't happening. The civil rights movement was the worst thing other than abortion that has ever happened to the blacks. And most, not all, but most have not returned. It's over for them. They have given up their freedom to the children of the lie. Slavery did not cause this mess. Here's something I want to, from Nick Johnson. Watch this.
Jackson is bad. Looked like a major disaster just hit the place, but that didn't happen. Think of this as war footage. For one, Jackson has one of the highest murder rates in the world. But there was trash everywhere. On the sides of the road, in the middle of the road. Even the churches are closed down here. Even the foreign churches are closed. I saw all of this in just one day of driving around Jackson. There were stray dogs all over the place. Who would invest in this place? The problem started in the 70s when Mississippi desegregated their schools. A lot of people didn't like that, so the wealthy families took their kids out to the burbs. And then the place just went downhill. A lot of businesses closed, the mall closed.
Old infrastructure system. If they go back and do the research, this thing probably hadn't had any type of significant, upgrade in forever. Probably since, I hate to say it, since Mississippi was ran by white people. And maybe it needs to go back to that.
Amazing. See what happened, white folk, when y'all leave? The blacks destroy it. They ain't gonna make it better. They ain't gonna keep it better. They're gonna destroy it. And then follow you somewhere else and destroy that. That was in Jackson, Mississippi. Now tell me, how so-called Juneteenth gonna save that? That ain't because of slavery? What the? It's because the people don't care. They're incapable of taking care of themselves. They don't know how. And they come up with some idea of Juneteenth. And there are black people who will celebrate it, even though they're getting killed on Juneteenth in some areas. But that was Jackson, Mississippi. And you heard the guy, it ain't gonna change. Maybe we need to go back to the white man running it again. It wasn't like that when white people were in charge. We played you a soundbite from a woman out of Africa. She was like, South Africa, Mummy Africa, I believe. She was like, white people need to come back. Look at this mess. White people ain't going to put up with this. White people, y'all need to come back. That was in South Africa. Now do you believe me when I tell you that the blacks are not going to make it better? They're just going to complain and whine and beg and try to take away from you. And if you make the big mistake of giving them so-called reparation, they're just going to waste it, your tax dollars. I remember Mississippi used to be so nice. I know people who've gone to Mississippi to live. What the? According to Smart News, there is so much gun violence in Mississippi that a military base piled up shipping containers to defend itself from stray bullets. And they want Juneteenth. Because some dumb black leaders, so-called leaders, told them that's what they need. And they fell for the lie. They fell for the lie. It's not going to get better until you just say no to the blacks. And they're forced to take care of themselves. No, you can't live in my neighborhood. No, you can't go to my schools. No, we're not giving you any more free stuff. No, no, no. You're a racist. You're a white supremacist. And, okay. Don't argue with them about it. Let them think whatever they want. They're spoiled. Slavery did not cause that mess you just saw in Jackson, Mississippi. That was from Nick Johnson, right? That clip. That's all right. But it had nothing to do with slavery. It wasn't like that prior to the Civil Rights Movement. Black people were that lazy and junky and nasty and lack of self-control. It changed when they turned their lives over to the so-called civil rights leaders. And it's just been downhill ever since. You know you're out of your mind to listen to a wicked person like the Wicked Witch of the West with the low IQ, Maxine Waters. Something's wrong. It has nothing to do with racism or sexism or homophobism, Islamophobism, Allah'ism, white supremacism, anti-Semitism, no isms. It's a lack of moral character. It's anger. It's a lack of fathers being in the home to guide the mother and the children in the right way to go. It's not physical. And they're just blaming everyone else so they can keep the people divided and gain so-called wealth for themselves. Y'all need to wake up, do what you want, but you need to wake up and take back your life. Mississippi is a mess. I remember when we went down there and protested abortion, had one abortion mill left in Mississippi, and we went down there to try to close that one. It was nice down there, too. It's a lack of moral character. Watch this from Jay Hall. Watch this.
Black community is doomed. And why I don't no longer identify as a black man. The women are attracted to killers and drug dealers. Asian Doll made a tweet that said, I'm attracted to killers. If you don't have any bodies, I don't want you. Dysfunctional. How can you save a community that's in love with its dysfunction? It's black men that would be square if girls actually liked and respected a 9-to-5 honorable man. But they're out here selling drugs. They're out here trying to be a rapper and a gangster because that's what girls like. And girls will tell you they don't want a 9-to-5, they want a scammer or a drug dealer. They love criminals. How can you save a community that loves the criminals and shames the good dude? You can't. If you're a good brother with the head on your shoulders, you have to escape.
Please have at least 3 bodies before you talk to me. Boy, I like killers. I am embarrassed. I am disappointed.
A doctor that makes $600,000 a year, or a drug dealer that makes $3 million a day.
Drug dealers.
Drug dealer?
Period. Drug dealer.
Drug dealer. Drug dealer. Drug dealer.
Give me the drug dealer. I already like the killer.
Period. All right.
So now you gotta calculate the. I need a drug dealer. You heard her. Drug dealer.
Wow. See how lost the black women are because the men are weak? Each generation gets worse and worse and worse. The women are lost, of course, because the men are weak. The men are lost. They have not returned to the Father. That's why they'd rather have a drug dealer than a doctor. They're lost. They're looking for love. The love of a father. And blaming white people for that and trying to come up with some stupid idea called Juneteenth ain't going to solve the problem. It's just going to make it worse. It's just going to make it worse. There was a video we played again of a woman in another part of Africa, and she rent out bed, what do you call those things you stay in temporarily?
Airbnb?
Yeah, Airbnb. And she said that she's not renting to black Americans anymore, or very selective with her, something like that. There was a Jamaican woman. She said, they're spoiled, they're violent, they destroy things. A black woman said that. And just like this black guy is saying, people are starting to see Jay Hall. People are seeing what's going on. A few are waking up. And white folks, if you love black people, you would be honest with them to let them know you're not their problem. I'm not your problem. You can blame me until the cows come home, but it will not help you, period. Period. They have made something as dumb as Juneteenth a national holiday, building the egos of the blacks and keeping them in their hell. It ain't gonna make them clean the yard. It's not gonna make them repair the building. It's not gonna do anything. They just gonna want some more free stuff because they feel special. A return to the Father is what's needed, folks. Material things has not helped, and it will never help. You see those young girls, they want a drug dealer. And proud of it. And they wonder why they're so fat and lonely. That's why. Looking for a father's love. And in America today, because it hasn't always been this way, the media doesn't want you to know the truth. We have this photo of from CNN.
And it says, black dads are more likely to play, dress, and share a meal with their child, data shows.
And the reason for that, because the black man have switched roles with the black woman. He's the mama now, and she's out, I guess, looking for a drug dealer or working or doing something. And the man is playing the role at home, taking care of the baby, riding on in the car, and the woman is driving, and he's sitting in the passenger seat. The media is not telling you all that. Why they're doing it? They want you to think that the black man is, he's better than the white man. He's playing mama. What a mess, huh? All the wrong people in the right places to make sure my country never, ever returns. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. You haven't seen anything, folks. It's going to get worse because the human heart is evil. They call anger love. Anyone who has anger has hatred, and they call it love. It's going to get worse. Real fast, I want to just show you what Mississippi looked like now that white folks have left that part of the town and turned it over to the blacks. And they want to celebrate Juneteenth, blaming everything on slavery. Slavery didn't do this. Watch this from Nick Johnson.
Jackson is bad. Looked like a major disaster just hit the place, but that didn't happen. Think of this as war footage. For one, Jackson has one of the highest murder rates in the world. But there was trash everywhere. On the sides of the road, in the middle of the road. Even the churches are closed down here. Even the foreign churches are closed. I saw all of this in just one day of driving around Jackson. There were stray dogs all over the place. Who would invest in this place? The problem started in the 70s when Mississippi desegregated their schools. A lot of people didn't like that, so the wealthy families took their kids out to the burbs. And then the place just went downhill. A lot of businesses closed, the mall closed.
Old infrastructure system, if they go back and do the research, this thing probably hadn't had any type of significant, upgrade in forever. Probably since, I hate to say it, since Mississippi was ran by white people. And maybe it needs to go back to that.
White people, white folks, they need you to come back. If ever they needed you, they need you now. I remember the Jamaican lady who would not rent to black Americans anymore said, my peace is more important than your opinion. Because the people were trying to attack her for saying that and not renting to the blacks. My peace is more important than your opinion. That's deep. Amazing. Let me take a quick break. 888-7753-773. When I come back, I'm going to take your calls and super chat. All right? The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. And I'll be back in a moment. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get along bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. So the Hake report is coming up. I was just thinking about what I showed you guys there in Mississippi and what the black lady said. Oh, but CNN reported the black man babysitting, feeding the children, babysitting. He ain't gonna clean up the neighborhood, though. What the? They gonna need the white man for that. But anyway, the Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake report.com from 9 to 11 a.m. And he have a guest today, a guest host with him. Big Bump will be with the Hake this morning. Hake is calling it a bit with Big Bump special Juneteenth episode. What the? At the top of this hour. You don't want to miss it. Then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby will be here. Flying high, but not on drugs. On real life. On real life, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. And by the way, the Anchor Baby is at 12 Pacific time as well, after the Hake report. If you need counseling, I do it myself by phone, Skype, or walk-ins. Amazing counseling service, the best in the West, the best on this side of heaven. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663 to make an appointment, all right? And remember to get your, for the Super Chatters, donate and have your comments read out loud on JesseLeePeterson.live, and buy me a coffee.com/JLP Talk. Buy me a coffee.com/JLP Talk. I mean JLP. What the? All right. Yes. Let's see here. I want to do some super chats. Super.
Super chat.
Super chats.
Super.
Hi.
Did you see Mississippi?
I heard about it.
Oh, Jackson, Mississippi. The white man left, and the black man threw up both his hands.
Terrible. Evil is real on Streamlabs. JesseLeePeterson.live. Riddle. Why did the chicken cross the road?
To get on the other side.
Well, Evil is real says there was a black guy on her side of the road. Also also only believe in the love of God and Hake news and black callers. Please take the marbles out of your mouth before calling in.
Thank you. Amazing.
That was a 3-in-1. Thank you, Evil is real.
Does a chicken have lips?
Come on and use those chicken lips.
That's right.
Buck, 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 buck.
Amazing.
Inosweri gives a follow-up clarification, hopefully. We Germans, this is on Streamlabs, we Germans lost World War II. You're not the only ones. And the bad things that we did after the war, we...
You read that one?
No. This is not the same one.
Oh, really?
It's a follow-up.
Nice. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's trying to...
Oh, because we didn't understand it.
Right.
Completely.
So he's seeking to clarify.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will help. And the bad things we did after the war, we were at the bottom, but we stopped blaming. We saw the evil we done and rebuild everything from the very beginning. Everyone can do it. Just don't blame others.
Yeah.
Black Americans don't give up.
Well, they got a first try. You make a good point. But don't tell them not to give up. They haven't even tried yet. What the? Thank you.
Swery with yet another super chat. TY, which stands for thank you. Thank you, Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you that you exist. I wish you all good luck. Don't give up your work. All caps, by the way.
Right on. Thank you. I won't. Amazing.
Riley JM on Streamlabs, JesseLeePeterson.live. I used to be ashamed of... that sounds like an answer to the biblical question.
Why are you ashamed of your anger and hatred in you?
Riley JM. I used to be ashamed of anger because I was taught that as a kid. Now I see anger and let it walk on past me.
Nice.
He doesn't do this, but I do it.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to be ashamed of something you have no control over.
Amazing.
And Star Sion on Streamlabs.
Thank you.
Yeah. Star Sion says, Jesse, just when I tried to overcome being in my imagination about you, you say something that's so attractive and I fall back into it again. LOL, lots of laughs. What duh? Hake reminds me of you and Whiteface sometimes.
Just my imagination running away with me.
Hey, there's that hand sign again.
Thank you, Sion.
Live Long Prosper on Rumble gave our first Rumble rant of the day. Love ya, Jesse. Keep speaking truth. God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah, very
Amazing.
kind.
Yeah.
And I believe that's all for now. But shout out to the top contributors on D-Live.
Shout out to the top contributors.
Bronconus, Scott Ashley Sexton, and of course Greenwall, Luminiferous, Kid Combo 1, Wrinklehands Bing Bong, and Diane D. Thank you.
Amazing.
And yet one more late coming in from Lin Yen Chin on Streamlabs, JCLeePeterson.live. My black and slow privilege is nice, but it's killing the space age. I might have to hit the abort button on us all us POCs being forcefully integrated into humanity. Hassan, activate the plan. I disavow.
Oh, what the? Thank you.
Well, at least he sees use for Hassan now. He didn't used to like him.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he liked him. Anyway, thank you
My
guys.
mama don't like you. She likes everyone.
That's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you. Amazing.
People were somebody was criticizing me for breathing into the mic. I'm trying to do a crowd's cheering sound. See? Okay.
Have you ever?
Just to clarify, in case that wasn't clear.
Have you ever done a fraudulent slip?
A Freudian slip?
Yeah, fraudulent.
I prefer a fraudulent slip.
What's a fraudulent slip?
A Freudian slip
Yeah.
is when you mistakenly say something, but it's something that you secretly want, and you mistakenly say something, and it's something that you secretly want. I just said the same
You're
thing.
thinking one thing, but you
say another thing, but that other thing sounds
and you didn't
like
mean to
something
tell the
embarrassing.
Truth.
And it's true about you, but it has nothing to do with what you were trying to say.
According to Healthline, a fraudulent slip.
Freudian
slip. I'm black and slow.
Yeah.
I
fine.
could be wrong.
Yeah.
Fraudulent slip referred to what you might also call a slip of the tongue.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's when you mean to say one thing, but instead says something entirely different.
Correct.
Amazing. I want you to here's some example of fraudulent slips.
Okay.
Freudian slip.
All right.
This is a compilation. Watch this.
Today, as you all saw just an hour or so ago, President Obama announced that, President Biden. Whoa!
Many of them, I'm sure, wanting to know when they will find employment again. Based on what he said last night, what do you say to them?
Well, I say they're going to start to see unemployment grow this spring.
You mean employment?
It's going to take employment grow. I'm sorry.
Commander-in-Chief, I was proud to have ended the ban on transgender Americans serving in the United States military.
Transgender Americans.
Having Trump not only have had the codes, but now having the classified information for Americans and being able to put that out and share it in his resort with anyone and everyone who comes through should be terrifying to all Americans, and he needs to be stopped.
Whoa. Did she say shopped or shot?
Shot.
Whoa.
And then she said stopped. A fraudulent slip.
I disavow.
Amazing.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And Biden said transgenders. J-E-S-T-E-R.
Yeah.
Transgender Americans.
Uh-huh.
Talk about fraudulent slip. And guess what? Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah. But I don't believe in because Sigmund Freud was this psychologist guy, and he was saying, you're belying, you're disclosing what you really think or like.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that always. It's not always the case.
Who said that?
Some guy, Freud, psychologist guy.
And where is he now? Where's Freud now?
He's in heaven.
I rest my case. And guess what?
Yeah.
Here's something we may need in the future. If things continue to go the way they are going, we may need this in the future. This is from the Sun, S-U-N. Japanese designers have unveiled plan for a real-life Noah's Ark. Watch this from Future and Trends. Watch this.
Today, the future of a rich texture, Dogen City, a planned floating city for 40,000 people. Developed by the Japanese architectural firm N-Arc, this city is intended to not just be a habitable space on water, but also serve as a health center. Despite only being 4 kilometers in diameter, this floating city astonishingly offers a range of facilities including sports venues, education centers, medical facilities, and even opportunities for food production. This isn't just a habitable construct, but a fully functional city with the character of a sustainable village. A key aspect of Dogen City is the protection from the whims of nature. The city is encircled by an outer ring which shields it from storms and tsunamis. The buildings are placed inside this ring and thus largely protected from the environmental influences of the sea. The concept of Dogen City aims to be largely autonomous. The city is expected to produce around 7,000 tons of food annually and generate 22,265,000 kilowatt-hours of electricity. So far, Dogen City remains a concept still seeking investors. However, should a suitable partner be found, it could feasibly be operational by 2030. The vision of Dogon
Whoa.
City shows us what a sustainable, autonomous, and health-oriented future could look like.
I know where I'm going.
You're not going to the moon anymore?
If that's where the white folks go. But right now we're going to Dogon City.
That's pretty cool.
What the? It's funny. They're going to run out there and live on the ocean like that. It's going to blow them away, too.
What's going to blow them away?
The water and the rain.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Because they will have affirmative action.
Oh, yeah.
What do you call that other thing they're teaching the kids now?
CRT?
No, they hiring these black people to go into these businesses to make sure they have
diversity, equity, and inclusion?
They're going to have diversity.
I don't know. That's the Japanese. But you're right.
But I don't think the blacks going to go on there, though, because blacks don't swim.
Yeah, you may be right. I don't know.
So I don't think we're going to have a problem there.
Yeah.
You think so, Hassan?
I don't think so. I think the Japs are pretty.
Whoa.
They.
Japanese.
I disavow.
Oh, that's derogatory? Oh, sorry. But the Japanese are pretty. They clamp down.
What?
They're pretty stern.
They don't like the blacks. Oh, no, they don't like the blacks.
No?
I remember when those blacks had a riot here and they were destroying South Central and
You're
all
thinking
that.
the Koreans.
Oh.
Same difference.
They look the same to me.
Yeah. I'm not laughing.
But the Korean that looked like Japanese were up on the roof with their guns and stuff.
Yeah, Uzis, I think.
Ooh.
Nice.
Amazing.
M.Ax Murderer says Freud, this is a diamond on D-Live, Freud was a dirty, well, I can't say all this, ancestral pervert. I disavow.
That was a fraudulent slip.
Yeah.
From Hassan.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you. Amazing. Let me go to Bless out of Louisiana. Bless, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing quite well.
Good.
So I wanted to answer the biblical question.
Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you?
And praise the Lord, I'm overcoming my anger. I've been listening to the church services online for a few months.
Nice.
And so I'm doing a lot of work in my life. And I think that people are ashamed of their anger, or I'll say I have been ashamed because we see that it's abnormal. And that's pretty much my answer. We see that it's unnatural. And if you look around at other people who aren't angry, you're like, you know, you can see your own anger is it's not a normal way to be.
Yeah.
And I think especially for men, like to women, anger might feel a little bit more normal. You can think of reasons to justify it. But men who are slower to anger and less easily upset, it just seems like that's how men should be.
Amazing. And how are you, and thank you for responding. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. How are you working on your anger? You say you're working on it.
Well, just a silent prayer, really, and noticing when it comes up. You know, I was in therapy for like some years a while ago, and I would tell my therapist, you know, I really don't experience anger. I just experience sadness. And so actually, I did want to ask you real quick, do you think sadness comes from anger?
100%.
Is it the same?
Yes.
Because I
100%.
It feels like a different feeling.
It's the same spirit, though. It's just it's the child of anger.
Okay, well, last night, for example, I had a good day. My father passed away when I was 12. I'm an adult now. But last night I was, you know, at the end of the day I was by myself, and the devil started talking to me, to be sad about my dad and like that I should be feeling sorry for myself and having memories of what a good dad he was. And I was able to watch that and see it. And I was like, man, that's not even me. That's not even the real me. That's a spirit trying to make me sad.
Absolutely.
For no reason.
Yeah.
I'm living a very good life. So that's just an example of working on it. You know, I'm not
Have you forgiven your
thinking
mother?
about it.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes, I have.
How did that go?
I did. I went to her, and at the time I said, you know, I don't feel like I'm angry at you, but I do want to forgive you because maybe all the problems in my life, and I've not had, you know, I have not had a straight and narrow walk in my adult life. And I said, maybe it was you showing me how to be in the world or how to be around men. And I said, I just want to let you know I forgive you. And she received it.
But why you didn't see clearly that it was her that made you angry, that the anger came from?
I guess at the time of of forgiving her, apologizing for resenting her, no, I did not see that the anger came from her. But I'd see her pretty frequently, and you know, maybe once a week. And then following that day that I forgave her, I started to see like, oh wow, she really defaults to anger pretty quickly. And I don't know, I just didn't have that. I had depression and sadness.
Because it sounds like you tried to forgive her, but you tiptoed around it. You're like, maybe you did this and maybe that. That's why I'm asking, did you see it clearly for yourself that I do resent her and I'm wrong and I need to forgive her?
I think that came after forgiving her. I think that I just like wanted to heal so much. I wanted to move on with my life that, yeah, maybe I did it too soon before fully understanding.
Right. But, and so how do you deal with her now when you see her?
If she does the anger thing, I just don't really acknowledge it. I don't tell her what to do.
Nice.
And I just kind of like sit there and let her, maybe she'll see herself acting that way and then just be like, wow, she's not reacting. I have nowhere to direct this.
That's right. One thing for sure, if you don't overreact to her reaction, it will have to stay with her. And it might cause her to see that it is her and not you or anyone else. It might. She may just suffer and die in her hell. She may love it.
Like, for example, I tried to talk to her about how we are not our bodies. We are a spirit.
Yeah.
And then she got caught up in the definition of spirit versus soul. And she's like, well, I don't know. I think we are a soul. Our spirit is our emotions. And I'm like, I don't know about all that. I'm not like trying to teach you. It just makes sense to me. So
nice. Well, thank you for responding to the biblical question. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. But stay with the silent. Are you doing it every morning, every night, the prayer?
Yeah, well, maybe not every morning because I love to sleep, and I really should be back to doing it twice a day, but I do it once a day for sure.
So are you doing it every morning, every night?
No.
And you say you love to sleep?
Right.
Are you black?
In the morning, I like to sleep in. So.
Are you black?
No, I'm white.
Where your laziness come from then?
That's a good question.
You got a black husband?
Get up early and do it, huh?
Do you have a black husband?
No. But I'm kind of Middle Eastern a little bit.
Oh, you black.
Maybe I'm brown.
Now get up and do the silent prayer and watch those thoughts, and it's going to be amazing. So stay with it. Stay with it. No matter what happens, you stay with the prayer.
All right. I'm going to do that this week.
All right. Amazing. Thank you for your call. I got to run. I appreciate it.
Thank you, too. Have a good day, Jesse. Bye.
Bye now. I am so out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now with a guest, Big Bump. They're doing a little special thing on Juneteenth. That should be interesting. thehakereport.com. And then at 12 noon, Anchor Baby, American Anchor Baby. Stay on that straight and narrow, folks. Stay with the prayer and watch. Stay with it and watch. And if anyone else that don't want to, let them suffer. Wish them well. Love your enemy by not hating your enemy. Frederick is out of Los Angeles. Dee Dee out of Georgia. And somebody just dropped, I'm out of time. Tomorrow is Country Western Tuesday. Thanks for the super chats and all the things. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Have faith in the unseen while we stand up and get back to the way we were designed to be.
You must know that's so you can. Something went wrong, but
check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand and to lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up, man up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
you must know that's so you can. Something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause that's so you can. Something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.
Thank you, Jesse Lee Peterson, and Hassan, and Sean, and American Anchor Baby, Nicolas, host of